Now Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his forces together. 32 kings were with him with horses and chariots. He went up and besieged Samaria and made war against it when he sent messengers into the city to Ahab, king of Israel, and said to him, thus says Ben-Hadad. I want to mention that he was named after his father. His father's name was Hadad, and it means the king of whirlwinds. His father was such a brutal man, and now the son, which notice the terminology of the words it talks about, I'm going to make you like dust. He's saying, I am the reincarnation of my father, and I'm coming to destroy like a whirlwind. Verse 3, listen to the enemy. Your silver and your gold are mine. Your loveliest wives and children are mine. The king of Israel answered and said, O my Lord, O king, just as you say. No resistance. No opposition. You want my family, you want my marriage, you want my business, you want my finances, just as you say. And all that I have is yours. Verse 5, then the messenger came back, because the devil never stops. Once you let him in, he takes more and he takes more. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He never stops. If you let him in, he keeps taking. If you don't learn how to resist the enemy, he will never flee. He'll keep coming. And the messenger came back and said, thus says Ben-Hadad, saying, indeed I have sent you, saying, you shall deliver me your silver, your gold, your wives, and your children. But I send my servants to you tomorrow about this time, and they will search your house, coming in your house, and the houses of your servants, and it shall be that whatever is pleasant in your eyes, anything that brings you pleasure, anything that brings you joy, anything that makes you just be glad to be alive, or it means something that's really precious to you and pleasant when you think about it, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Whatever is pleasant in your eyes, they will put it in their hands and take it. So the king of Israel called the elders of the land. He said, notice please how these men seek trouble. They've sent me and sent for my wives and children, silver and gold, and I did not deny him. And the elders and all the people said to him, it's bad when the people have to tell the leader how to lead. Do not listen or consent. Therefore he said to the messengers of Ben-Hadad, tell my lord the king all that you sent your servant I was willing to do, but this thing I cannot do. And the messengers departed, and he came back, and that's when he says in verse 10, I'll come like a whirlwind, like there won't nothing be left but dust. Verse 11, finally the narrative change. The narrative changes. So the king of Israel, after saying, yes, 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 you can have it, tell him, let not the one who puts his armor on boast like he who takes it off. Verse 13, suddenly a prophet approached Ahab, king of Israel, and God said, I'll deliver the enemy into your hand. I want to talk to you for a few minutes about this story because I believe it's a powerful lesson. You hear a lot in the media today about controlling the narrative. You hear it in politics, you hear it in sports, you hear it even in controversies and crisis. Whoever controls the narrative controls the outcome. That's the thought. That's what people believe. If you keep saying it, doesn't matter what the truth is, just control the narrative and you will control the outcome. And in this story, it's like Ben-Hadad, this evil Syrian king and his army, links up with 32 other kings because he had tried to conquer Israel before. You read it again and again and yet again, it says, and yet again they came against Israel and he couldn't defeat them. But this time was different because he hired 32 different nations, their kings and their armies against one group of farmers, the Israelites. And it was because Ben-Hadad knew the power of their God. And he thought, this time, because I've got 32 kings and their armies plus my own army, they do not have a chance. Their back is against the wall. I'm going to destroy them. The reason you face great resistance is because the devil knows who you are. The enemy knows who you are. I believe that the devil's afraid of this church. I believe he knows. I believe demons know that we're here today. I believe that he's afraid because we're anointed to pray. We're anointed to preach. We're anointed to sing. We're anointed to lift Jesus up. We're anointed to lay hands on people. We're anointed today to set captives free. We're anointed today to change the narrative in somebody's life who has accepted addiction and bondage for the rest of your life. That's what the enemy tells you. And as long as you keep letting him come and take and take and take, he'll take your family, he'll take your life, he'll take your aspirations, your dreams, your money, your resources. He will take it all, and then he'll come after that which is pleasurable and seems good to you and things that you enjoy, to where you're suicidal and you see no reason to keep hoping and keep believing. That's what the enemy wants to do. Ahab had his back against the wall, so much so that for the nation of Israel, he was surrendering. He was in the process of negotiating a surrender. And everything the enemy would say is, I don't surrender. I don't coexist with you. If you let me in your life, I come to destroy your life. Don't ever think I'm here to be your buddy. That's what Ben-Hadad. Don't ever think we're just going to get along. I'm coming. I'm taking your children. I'm taking your grandchildren. I'm taking your wife. I'm after your husband. You think he's cute? I'm after him. I want to mess him up. I want to mess your family up. I want to mess your life up. I want to mess your body up. I want to mess you up. I am not here to play games with you. You got to see Satan in this story, right? And his narrative for your life is disaster and kill, steal, and destroy, according to John 10:10. That's all he's after. It may be pleasure for a moment, but ultimately he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That's hell's agenda. The devil keeps pushing for more and more. I want every precious thing in your sight. Whatever's precious to you, I want it. Everything you like. And there's that moment when the elders spoke to Ahab with such authority that they said, don't consent. What do you mean? He kept taking and you haven't stood up. And there comes that moment when the whole narrative of the story changes, because if you change the narrative, you change the outcome. So many of us just sit back and let the enemy attack, and we think, well, we are helpless and that's just how it goes and we don't have any say-so. But I've come today to preach about when victory begins. To discover that it has a voice. Don't let the enemy do all the trash talking. Don't let the enemy do all the threats and the fear mongering among your life. Don't let the world and other people's opinion even control the narrative of your life.